Uh, hey Marge, are you
I'm good.
okay, you're here. Great.
Yeah.
Uh, so this is class number 7 of Support Our Conscious Activism. And my projection is that things are heating up in the US. I don't know if that's true, but it seems like it when I hear people talking. So I think this is, well, I'm glad we're doing this, and thanks for coming from across the globe to support us and yourselves in relation to whatever's happening for you, especially because it's really early there. So, so thanks for being here. What I was imagining for today, and I'm hoping one of the three of you will step in and help me do this, is that we can, since next week is the election, and so then when we meet again the day after the election, it'll be really to process whatever's coming up for folks. I'm hoping that I can have you walk through all 10 steps. So if you could think about if you could get kind of riled up, that would help so that we can demonstrate all 10 steps and have people really see this kind of the whole arc. The last of the two steps, I'm just going to make sure I'm quoting them accurately. Step 8, no, sorry, step 9 is committing to Team Human. And step 10 is to choose your next creative action. So to complete that, I'll describe these two last steps, like why, why those? Um, so imagine this. Uh, Now, part of what I notice here, this is my story, is well, we call it this like a big horse race, right? And we call this this whole politicking thing. People are betting on horses. They're betting on their teams. And I don't know about Australia and New Zealand. Well, I kind of suspect from a little bit with Grant and seeing his Phillies hat and his his jersey. Like it seems like maybe that's a universal human attribute to be on one team or the other, to bet on one side or the other. Channel, is that true in New Zealand also, do you think?
I think it is, even though the government, it's mixed member proportional representation. So depending on the vote, you get a
Oh,
certain number of seats. So that does
wow.
change things a bit. And often they have to
Yeah.
negotiate afterwards to
Whoa.
work out who's going to be the second party. Yeah.
Interesting. Huh. And is
Mm.
that true in Australia at all? Or is it two parties?
No, definitely two parties. And we've just had a state election, and our I guess our version of the left just got ousted after, I don't know, 14 years or 12 years or something like that. So, or longer. It's been a long time. It's the first
Wow.
time we've had a conservative government for a while.
Huh.
Yeah.
No, I am not a political scientist, so I don't understand. I mean, I couldn't go into, any of the ramifications of what you were just saying, but um, thinking polarities and thinking um, after after Trump got elected, I saw a little bit of Ruth Bader Ginsburg's reaction to that. That was the first time in 2016. And she said, she was the Supreme Court justice. She said, I believe in, I just lost the word.
Like a
Help me.
pendulum
Pendulum.
swinging.
I believe in pendulums. So to think about with two, and what you just were describing, Jen, that the energy of the pendulum swinging, and that reading recently about pendulums, very interesting that even as this pendulum is swinging this direction, it's gaining energy to go in this direction.
Hmm.
So the polarity of this with two parties is very interesting. And then Shannon's contrasting that with your experience of, okay, it doesn't actually get to just do that. I have no idea what that would mean. But but I think for us with the two-party system, definitely feels like that
Mm.
to me.
Yeah. And probably there are two key parties like National and Labour, one's more conservative, one's left. but then it's the other party that they have to bring in to create a government. And that can swing it. And so at the moment, we've got a kind of a right wing with an extra right wing joining together, whereas previously we had left wing and green together.
So a
Mm,
similar kind of feeling of who's going to
yeah.
be on one side of the pendulum or the other.
Mm,
So the two-ness of this, um, and that sense of who's on my team and who's on your team, and how pleasurable that can be for us as humans. Okay, this is my team. And the otherness, I mean, there's just all like a lot of theory behind this that I'm not an expert in that, but to at least acknowledge it, that can feel really good. I remember reading about some Boy Scouts, and they were on some island camping out, but there were two groups of them, and they didn't know the other group. They were Boy Scouts, like they're just kids, these boys. But by the end of the time of them camping out, they had already developed ideas about the people they didn't know, the other Boy Scouts, even though lots of similarities, but still that sense of we're different from. And other research of just putting green shirts on the group down the hall versus red shirts on this group, and how much people had already had opinions and some rancor about this other group that wasn't them. So to really, I think, appreciate how we like that feeling of we've got us and we've got them, and isn't that nice? I know I'm not a them, I'm an us. Well, I'm taking this beyond that, saying, but what about Team Human? And that what about the usness of we all get to be on the same team? So to maybe try that out for you both, and Channel and Jen, thanks for being here. So I've got somebody to talk to. Because I wonder, what does that even feel like for
Jules,
you?
Jules,
Oh, Marge.
I'm here. I'm
Okay.
just I just don't want to be on camera.
Okay. Well, do you feel like participating in the conversation?
I do, but I do, but I mean that's why I'm here.
Okay.
Is
Well, what
it
I mean is, can I ask you questions?
of course.
Okay. Well,
Oh
then,
yeah, I'm not multitasking. I just don't want to be on camera.
cool. I mean, I
Okay.
just figure if people, I mean, whatever. If I can't see you, I wouldn't ask you stuff because, well, I don't know. But if you have any opinions, like what's it like to imagine just to let your body go into, oh, I'm part of the same instead of I'm different from the other? Because that's really what I'm proposing here is we're all on the same team, and that I don't need to other anybody. I mean, for me, when I do that, I have a settling, but I also kind of miss the pushing. There's some part of me is like, ooh, but it's fun to be competitive in the who's going to win and versus, oh, wait a second, we're all part of. So, anybody miss the othering when you tune into that?
I experience it, it feels like it's almost automatic. Like it's an assessing. Oh, are they like me or not like me? Um, and so it I think I don't know about missing, but it feels I don't know what the right word is. I don't it feels like I'm going against what I would normally do to not do it.
Right. Kind of there's this habit or
Yes.
this, and I'd say from reactive brain is monitoring for threat, radaring for threat, and so wants to know
Mm,
where the threat is. And it's weird
yeah.
to sort of, oh, wait a second, what if there isn't one? Well, speaking for me,
Mm,
like, oh, huh, what if I could experience the world and humans as, and then beyond humans, of course, as friendly?
mm,
Hard habit to break.
yes.
I was we were totally indulging on politics last night and watched um Isabel Wilkerson being interviewed. So if you haven't read Caste, I have it on my bookshelf. It's a phenomenal book. And so she's the author of Caste, Caste, Caste. Um, so I just want to throw in that people like read that book, especially if you're American. But you all, thank you for again for hanging out with some Americans because our history of slavery means the subtitle is the origin of our discontents. The origin of our discontents. And so as a country, what she's putting forward is, oh, as soon as we brought folks over and enslaved them, and then decided that whether we had all of this like centuries of reasons for why we would do that because they were bad, because they were wrong, because they weren't human, because they were like, so that we could stay, white people could stay in the upper caste. And so it's very interesting that it's looking at these issues of it's not racism necessarily as it's a caste system, just like in India, it was a caste system, and Nazi Germany, who studied the US to see how we handled race in our country when they were implementing their anti Semitic policies. Like they study the US. Anyway, so she was talking about, well, that's the issue is she was describing 2042 is that's the year that in the US, white people finally go into the minority. And that basically this is our last gasp as white people of saying, no, we've got to maintain superiority, and that's why we're anti-immigration, because that's our way of being one up. So as I was considering this afterwards, to me, that is the reason for these 8 classes. That is the reason for this book, because the question is, like, it looks to me like people believe that's all there is. Either you're up or you're down.
Mm.
And those are the 2 choices. And so you better be up because you sure don't want to be down, because we know what we've done to people that are in the down. And so that it's constant struggle of, oh God, we better not let that happen, because we're going to push to the death so that we're not the ones down, because we know again how the torture, it's just the endless atrocity that we've done to people that are in the power down position. So we know we don't want to allow that to happen to us. Like, okay. Commit to Team Human says, no, there's door number 3. There's this new possibility. There is saying that the possibility that we can have with. And I think people just have no idea there's with. They don't even know it's a thing. So commit to Team Human is saying there is a thing called with, where nobody has to do that to anybody, where we can find a way through, where we can have our real selves and get down to the real truth and say, here's what's happening. I'm scared. I'm mad. I'm sad. I'm past that. And now I get to be in power with. So whatever we're doing as a country here, that and so much fear and so much aggression as a result of our fear, that we're going to be the ones where the atrocity is finally, again, maybe, because I think other folks talked about Europe and what happened in the Middle Ages and how we're still acting out our trauma from that. Anyway, who knows? So the power witness of Team Human. We are together. We're on the same team. And to underline, when you're on the same team, well, you act a certain way. If you're on my team, I support you. I want the best for you. And if you're having a hard time, I say, okay, you're going to do better, and vice versa. That if I'm on your team and I falter and I make a bad play and I have a bad day, that I can lean on you and remind myself, because of you, that that's not who I really am. Also a place that I think people don't know, that we believe we are our personas and that each other is our personas. So to be very clear that isn't who we are. That never has been who we are. So committing to Team Human to me says to me, okay, we are on in this together. We're on the same team, on the same planet. And I've talked to different in different places about my practices. Maybe you all have some practices about Team Human, but my new practice is to remind myself when I'm driving that I'm on. These are my teammates, even though I'll never see them ever. I mean, they go by in a car or behind me. This is my team, and of course they get to go in front of me, and if that's fine, and I know they want to get someplace, and I support them to have their lives. So that's a good practice for me. This is good. I'm nudging you to create some practices. Uh-huh. Standing in line. I mean, it's so easy for me to go critical. Is it easy for anybody else? I'm in the grocery store. Why are you in my way? Why are you just standing there? Can't you just move over to the side so I can get past you? Right. So another practice for me is to notice when I go there and then to generate an appreciation instead. I don't have to be like, don't be critical, because there's my mind, there's my reactive brain. But it's more like if I'm going to notice being critical, that I think of an appreciation, I generate an appreciation. So a couple of practices I would offer for committing to Team Human.
I like what you also said right at the beginning, Julie. We said, just acknowledge it, like I'm part of the same, like I'm one of the, like even just that statement, I can't, like when you said that, like my whole body just relaxed, remembering, remembering that in that moment. Yeah. It's not a practice yet, but I really liked it. Mm.
Well, and the week before this election, to lean into that instead of, oh God, what my thoughts are generating, like, oh, I hope, and it's better be, and it better not be, the other side and better not win, that whole feeling like, okay, like, no, we're in this together, and we're working it out. We're working something out as a collective, as humans, and we're evolving. I mean, that's a new story. That was the last step. Step 8 is tell a new story, but that's what I believe, that we are evolving. And here's a little bit of information to support that belief. I carry that from David Hawkins. He can't tell us now, but we could all muscle test ourselves. He talks about how much we've evolved over the centuries, and that we are steadily evolving from being way in fear to, over time. At 2012, we collectively moved above the line. Isn't that fun to think about? Like, that we collectively, like, we kept going. We're still evolving. And so to imagine that all of these things we're doing with each other are part of our own evolution as a species, and to have some faith in that no matter what happens, that's what we're doing. We're evolving over time. Commit to Team Human. And then the last step is choose your next creative action. Now, I want to say a couple of things about this. Your creative action is enough, because it could be all of the other creative actions, like people are canvassing. I have clients that canceled today because they're in Pennsylvania, like feet on the ground, boots on the ground, right? It's all the military references. Anyway, they're there, they're knocking on doors at the place. It's one of the places that we are to think that is going to be a pivotal place in the country about the election. That's what their creative action is, and yay to them. But I'm not doing that. This is my creative action, but it could be drawing a picture. It could be making soup. Like, what's your creative action? And that your creative action will come out of going through these steps, or maybe other processes. That your creative action is that's enough. That's enough, because what your creative action is doing is you've moved out of reactive brain into creative brain. And now from creative brain, the creative action is just you anchoring yourself, giving yourself more information and more data that says, okay, you're expressing from somewhere above line, even neutrality. You're expressing yourself. You're bringing yourself out into this higher vibration. So as much as my mind might have opinions about, well, okay, I could be doing the other things, but I'm not. So no, my creative action is my expression. That is enough. That is enough, y'all. That's enough. That's great. That's you in the world in your expanded self. Now, the caveat I'd add is if it's from above the line. So, of course, if it's from a low line, it's not a creative action; it's a reactive action. But still, to be like, okay, my create. If I'm in despair, my creative action would be, I don't know, to cry. Well, okay, there's some creativity in that, but I'm really nudging us to get into creative brain and do the action from that place because now you're really supporting this higher vibration in the field. So that's step 10. So is there anybody who would be willing to walk through these with me who feels a little bit, has some feelings about this election?
Jules, I can do it, but
Okay.
I feel like my energy right now is going to hijack the conversation.
Oh, perfect.
Let me just get this out of my system.
Okay.
I'm not in this all the time, but my argument right now is that there is something to be afraid of. This isn't an illusion.
Oh, yeah.
And so I'm just tired of gaslighting myself. Do you know what I mean? So I'm going to go through the process with you because I'm in it, and I have no interest in gaslighting myself because I
Perfect.
don't want to be on the same team as the percentage who showed up at that Madison Square Garden. I don't want to be on their team.
Great.
Period. The end.
Period. The end.
And I theoretically, intellectually know that my only creative act and the only solution in the cosmology is for me to get over that third, where you are in that third, and do the practices, because why would I want to be this mad all the time? And trying to arrive at that through my brain versus me just going out and dancing right now or playing with a dog just feels impossible,
Great.
So I'm gonna do it, but I'm fucking in it, I know she's gonna win, but I'm so fucking mad
Great.
at the powers that be that are allowing this to happen. I'm not even mad at those humans. See, now for a minute I could feel some compassion that they just have a different body of information than some of us have, But I'm just so mad. So anyway, I'll do it.
Thanks, Marge. This is
Are you good
perfect.
with me being off screen though?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Now, you know what? I'm gonna not, I don't know if that feels, I'm gonna get on screen, but it's just
Okay.
not pretty.
Okay. I appreciate that you'd be willing, like a
Yeah,
lot.
let's do this, Jules.
Okay. All right. Step 1 says recognize the signs. So,
Okay. I'm all choked up. I'm crying. Um, and I'm very stiff in my shoulders and neck.
and I'd
I
add in,
probably have, huh?
and what you're saying is I don't want to be on their team and I'm mad at the power. Like there's some other
Right,
signs too. Like
right,
my mind is generating these ideas, these
right,
thoughts. Mm-hmm.
right,
Yeah. Great. Thank you. And then step 2 says decide to shift.
right.
So,
Yeah, of course you know what I mean? Like, it's like, of course I do. I'm not sure you can count on me for it though. Um, or I can count on myself for it. Okay, I feel the energy relaxing a smidge.
okay.
So I apparently I decided to shift.
Because just to be clear, and you don't have to. I mean, that's the whole reason for
Yeah,
the
I
step.
know. I know.
Because we're like,
Thanks.
yeah,
Thanks.
no, I don't want to. So, okay. So decide to shift. You did. Okay. So now we're going to discover the real issue using SEW.
Okay.
Now you were just describing, so sensations, emotions, what you want. So you were describing the sensations. Will you go back to those?
Sure.
Yeah, what are your sensations?
Well, like they're not so much there anymore, but I was having tightness in here and I was choked up. Um, and I was crying.
Okay, but they've kind of dissipated a little bit.
Yeah,
Still some tightness, or
sure.
you still some
Yep, right
tightness
here.
right here. So right there is there's some. Ugh.
Yep. Yeah, it's coming back.
And is that mad
Yeah,
or sad or scared?
scared.
Scared. So can we let you?
I'm scared.
I'm scared. So let's let you feel as scared as you feel. And what's the perceived threat or danger? What's the scary, scary thing that could happen here?
I don't have the skin for the chaos that's going to happen.
So you're scared there'll be big, big chaos and that you don't have the ability to cope with that.
Well, the biggest scare is that for some damn reason he would get back in. I don't think that'll happen. But generally, I can move around the world if I can accept. This is what it is, Jules. If I can accept the worst case scenario, I can actually move past my fear.
Mhm.
But I cannot accept the worst case scenario.
Well,
I cannot, I think that's why I'm right now not able to move past my fear because the worst case scenario is unacceptable.
so we don't have to accept it at the moment. How about letting
Right.
yourself feel as scared as you feel about the worst case
Okay.
scenario?
Okay.
Because your body knows, like, yeah. So letting yourself feel scared, and what is the worst case scenario for you? What's like the unimaginable that you're is actually in?
That Trump and his administration will execute Project 2025 and all that we're worried about will happen.
Uh-huh. So how about letting yourself feel scared about that? Because that could happen.
Right.
And to allow that to be present in your body, like, okay, yeah, there it is. I feel really scared that's going to happen.
Yeah.
And then as you're with that, for you, what's the bottom line thing you're afraid about?
Yeah. It's a really good question, Jules. I mean, for
Mhm.
me and my survival would probably need to leave the country.
Because of
So
the
that,
thing, what would be happening?
yeah, I can't be here. Sorry. So I would have to leave and that really scares me. I didn't think, thanks for taking me there because I so don't think he'll get in, really. Like I believe in the whatever, but I thanks for taking me to that because that's really true that right now confronting leaving the country is having me really sad.
Yeah, right. So the sadness that goes with that possibility. Yeah. So letting yourself feel that, breathing with that. And again, our bodies know, and we can reassure ourselves and do the affirmations, but our body's like, yeah, that could happen because they're right.
Right.
Yeah. You've seen it before. And I'm guessing, I mean, whatever the version like that your body learned, well, right. Anyway, history, etc. And so for you, Marge, is there something that this is reminding you of in your own life?
Yeah, I got to think about it for a minute. It popped into my head, but I don't remember feeling like this wouldn't happen. But when I'm embarrassed to say this, Jules, because it's only resonating in my brain, not my body.
Mhm.
But I'm sure when my father was going to leave our family, no, he came back 24 hours later. But I'm sure that the moment in the driveway, maybe I was this afraid. Maybe that's true.
Beautiful. So letting yourself feel that, because then in the driveway, I'm just imagining that you didn't have any space or support to feel that. And so now this can take you
Right,
there and you get to feel that now. Yay. I mean, he
right.
wants to, but still it's like, wow, it was this intense. Letting your body have that, like, wow, this is so scary. This is
Yeah,
so scary.
yeah, right.
And what's happening now in your body?
What do I feel now, Jules?
Yeah, what are your sensations now?
Um, they kind of just dissipated again.
Yeah, good. Like, all right, so this is what this is kind of reverberating back to me. Like, this is bringing this forward. Yeah, and I'm guessing we all have some version of that. That's like, okay, there's this, but then there's this. So this has been sitting in our bodies all along, and now here's a chance to finally feel it. So, way to go.
Yeah,
Way to go.
thanks.
Yeah. How's your sadness now?
It's matter of fact.
Because I'm wondering what those 24 hours were like for you.
Yeah, I don't even remember. I don't even remember.
How old were you?
8, 7, second grade. No, third grade. I was older, third or fourth grade, maybe.
So he leaves and you're in the driveway and there's 24 hours and he comes back, but you didn't know if he was coming
You
back?
didn't know. Yeah. Yeah.
Really, really scary. So it says discover the real issue using
Yeah.
SAW. So I wonder, as you're with this, if you can put words to that, what is the real issue for you?
So it's coming back. So something wants to be said.
Mhm.
Um, I think that so I'm just gonna say this, I'm not gonna try to connect it to my father, but I think that the last 8 years is connected to this leaving, which is just more estrangement. I'm already estranged right now from my family, my twin. I just I don't see, I'm just trying to pay attention to see if the intensity. I'm tired of being estranged. And so I mean, I kind of think like, wow, let's go to another country.
But you're tired of being
But
estranged.
I'm tired of being estranged.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I'm afraid in my own country.
Mm.
I feel estranged.
Yeah. That's so amazing that you could find that.
In addition, sorry to keep going, but in addition to turning, into my late 50s, all the things about being an invisible woman, it just kind of all happened at once.
Mhm.
Um, Me and a lot of people. Not, so it's hard to figure out which factor has been the most estranging.
Mhm.
But anyway, it's estrangement.
Estrangement. Bravo. Like, woof. Because the W here is then, I wonder what you really want.
Yeah, so good.
And I don't mean solving it like this, what's the solution? I mean, but what are you really wanting?
I want to feel connected to, but not really everyone, Jules. We've been down this road. I want my person. I want a BFF. I want I want I want someone I can just
Yeah. Again, without solving it, and I know that's hard, but still, like, okay, what I want is, and I,
it could be a BFF, you know,
but
doesn't have to
something
be a
about
man.
safety,
Safety. Okay, I understand where you're
connection.
getting at. I want safety. I want to laugh. I
Uh-huh.
want to laugh without being self-conscious of my, I want to be unself-conscious. That's what I want. I
Yeah,
want unself-consciousness.
yeah, and connection.
Yep.
I mean, to put the two together, because I'm guessing you can have unself consciousness off on your own, but
Yeah, which is why I love to be alone, Jules.
yeah, for
But
sure,
see
you
where
mean
it
you
gets me.
relax. Yeah. So what I really want is unself conscious connection.
Yeah,
Huh. How's your
it's good,
body?
Jules.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Okay. So now
Good.
accepting and loving
My
what
weekly
is.
shows is back. What?
Accepting and loving what is. That's step 4, accepting and loving what is. Which is, I mean, now it's like, oh, okay. Can I accept and love my life as it is? So I know that's a tall order. So let's start with acceptance. It says, oh, and now here's what's true. What I want is unself-conscious connection. Now I am noticing, I don't know how self-conscious you are, but like in the moment, but do you feel connected to us?
Yeah.
Oh, well,
Yeah, I also noticed that I was like, but I do love my life.
well, I just,
Like in that moment of accepting the what's missing, I was like, look, what's here is grand. You
okay.
know, like this is good.
So you really can
It's
accept them.
interesting what that's very interesting. That if I can accept what isn't here as what is, I can better accept what is here. Does that make sense?
And then even loving what is.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's that like to try that?
To
Loving.
love what is?
Mhm.
Um, no, I do. I'm good.
Yeah. And the thing I was drawing your attention to is that we're here with you, connecting with you.
Yeah, I know. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know.
So the next step is to open your focus.
Oh, right. Okay.
So we can all do that,
That's a good technique, Jules.
isn't it? Yeah.
I forget about it.
Yeah. So we're going to open our focus
Okay.
and open your heart. Hmm. How's that? I'm just breathing into my heart as a way of opening.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's open. This all feels open-ish.
Like openish. I think for me, it's a sense of relaxation and a breath in, so I can feel like my heart is expanding some. For no good reason, just because that's the step. And then we're going to shift to wonder and play. Is there something you want to wonder about?
I just thought of this, but it's going to sound like faux magnanimous, but I promise you it's the first thing that came in my head, which was I wonder how scared they all are.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
Right?
which makes me sad.
Yeah. Yeah.
This ain't how I walk around the world, though, Jules. It really takes the steps, but
Yeah. That's why we're doing them. That's why we have community to do them, because yes, I would say it's easier for me to not do this, but to just do the but you're doing, yeah. So thank you for your willingness. I wonder if they're scared or how scared they are. the they. Yeah. And play is kind of interesting in this context, but play just means like kind of being with, okay, this is the input. How do I want to be with that? Like, is there something play that you could add that feels playful to you? Like, I wonder how scared they are. Hmm.
Oh, bring play to that.
Yeah, bring play to that.
That's hard. Do you have any ideas?
I'm doing some of my own inner, I'm playing with my own inner scared self. Like, oh, you're scared. Yeah, I'm scared. Oh, scared. Anyway, that's what I was doing. Like, scared, 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 a little scared. It's just like scared, scared. Ah, woo.
I guess I guess I could play with myself when I notice I'm scared and just do what you just did or be like, "Oh, you little scaredy cat."
A little
You
scaredy.
know, meow. You know what I mean? I could play with that.
That's what it feels like to be human and be scared.
Yeah.
Ah. Halloween, we can scare each other.
Yeah. We did that at the same time.
Woo. Okay, so now tell a new story.
Mm. About my W or
Any-
just
I'd
period?
say anything. 'Cause you have the
Well,
other
what came to
story.
mind was just I keep forgetting that I signed up for this, you know? I keep forgetting that this is why I came to planet Earth to feel all this, you know, or to experience all this, you know. Um,
Hmm. So it sounds like would your new story be, oh,
oh, that's right.
I came to
I
planet
want
Earth to
I
do this.
wanted this.
Oh, that's right. I wanted this. Oh, that's right. I wanted that's it. There's yeah, I wanted this.
And then I could say I want this. I could really go for it and say I want this.
What do you think? You want to do that?
I'll try that on, Jules.
Okay.
That
Oh,
would be harder I want this.
I want this. Beautiful. Well, okay, I'm just gonna here we go.
Right.
This is commit to Team Human.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that we're on your team helping you have this experience? The one
Yeah.
you're just talking to
In
us
this
about.
room for sure. And then out there, even the days that I said before I don't want to be on their team, I can intellectually be with that they're all here for this game and we're all here to teach you each other. I can do that in my intellect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. This is aspirational. This one I just put in there because, well, let's go for it. Right. If you know, if you remember, we were like, should we even put that in there? But like, let's really push
Yeah. Oh,
ourselves.
we had no, of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah.
I guess I've been making up that if it's something intellectual instead of me feeling it in my whole being, that I'm not quote doing it right or I'm
Oh,
not really that compassionate. I think I really have been thinking that, Jules.
well, the word commit to, well, I guess that's two words. The phrase commit to means, I mean, it doesn't mean I'm doing it, but I commit to being on Team Human is like, whoa, it's a step in. It's saying,
Yeah,
I
I stand
no,
for it, Jules. I do stand for it. Yeah. It is how I stand. It's my stance.
that's miraculous, in my opinion. And so, Marge, knowing that we've committed to Team Human, choose your next creative action.
Okay. Um, you know what I think I want to do, Jules? I want to do all my practices, which I don't do faithfully, for everyone else. Maybe that's what I have to do is I wonder if, because you just said creative act. Listen, here's what my mind just did. I was like, I know I have all these art supplies. I'm going to just keep creating with my art supplies. And then I thought, wait, what if that's what I want to do for Team Human? Because that makes me happier and here. And then I thought, well, then why aren't you doing meditation for Team Human? And why aren't you doing your EFT for Team Human? Because you don't do it for you. I noticed that I'm way more motivated to improve my own writing because I'm teaching other people how to write. So if that's how I roll, then why I could organize all my practices for Team Human. That might keep me doing it. You know, I like that a lot.
So let's make it like something like,
Condensed?
well, just easy, just something you can just like, not maybe for the rest of your life, but like so it sounds like in your next practice of whatever you'll be doing that you'll dedicate that to Team Human, or
Yeah,
yeah, is that like, tell us what
maybe. Okay. If I wake up in the morning and ask, what am I going to do for Team Human today? I got to see if I really can do that. But I could write that on the pad at my bed, you know. Um,
yeah. Okay.
then I could reinforce it. Honestly, you said play. I'm like, I'm brushing my teeth for Team Human. I'm making coffee for Team Human. I'm adding cream for Team. You know, I could really just drive it home, you know.
Yeah. Well, we made it to step 10.
Right.
How are you doing?
I'm good.
Well, why don't you take a couple breaths while we talk
Thank
over
you.
what that was like to witness. And
Okay.
I want to go find something from the book that I hadn't prepared to have up. So just going to take a moment here and remind us about this. Make it bigger. Nope, that's not what I wanted. Sorry. All right, so I'm just going to bring it over and hope people can see it. Where's the bigger? There we go. This is what this whole book is based on. This is David Hawkins. So reminding us, why would you dedicating to your whatever you're doing, your drawing or your painting, like what does that have to do with anything? Oh, because what it's doing is anchoring you above the line, because one person embodying acceptance counterbalances 90,000 people in reactive brain. To really see this, like this is why, like, is it true? Well, muscle test, you decide. But one person embodying appreciation. So if you're appreciating Team Human, you're helping 400,000 of us who are out there in reactive brain, like, what's going to happen? Love, imagine that. I just got choked up. I choked myself up about, I can counterbalance 750,000 folks that are out there in reactive brain. Well, I'd say that could be a good idea right now. 10 million if we're in joy, 70 million if we're in peace. So it's a big deal. It's a big deal. It's just not something I can see versus, right? But I can feel it and I can muscle test. Is it true? Yes. Thank you, Marge. That was beautiful. That was amazing for me.
Thank you, everybody.
So anybody have any thoughts as you got to see that, or you're thinking about your own process? sending thoughts out to Esme right now, who's been in our class before, wherever she is. Esme, hi, we're with you. Carrie, it's good to see you. So what was that like to witness, Marge?
Marge, thank you. And it's a like just refreshing, like in 30 minutes, you can walk through all 10. It doesn't always work that way. In my mind, it builds up to it has to be like I need to have dedicated more time to be able to do this. And also it can be brief and effective. And to watch you, Marge, move from angst and fear to I'm on team human was such a beautiful journey to go with you through that process. And I want to be on team human with you.
Right? Who wouldn't want to be with Marge? Oh, it's not my team.
Yeah. Profound was the word that kept coming. Like it was profound to watch that movement. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm very grateful for having the chance to witness it, Marge. Thank you.
Um, what I experienced, Marge, as you stepped in, when you said, got to a space where you said, I'm willing, I just felt my whole body just go, oh. And then I actually felt like sort of the bubbles of excitement come through. I could just really, was like, oh, and I felt that a lot as you went through your process. So sort of, I felt, tears at times and sort of a clenching, and especially as you really, I guess, embraced your own experience. So, oh, this is what this reminds me of. I'm just feeling such appreciation for getting to actually witness how you just stepped into that, and just feeling very grateful, very expanded in my chest for that experience, and what's possible. Hmm.
I want to underline that step 3 of use SEW to discover the real issue is pivotal, and I, of course, well, is the most challenging because it's going to require me going into me and saying, what does it have to do with me? And it's so much easier, I think, to go out there like, oh, well, if those people, but that's the whole reason for doing this particular piece of work, is to say, oh my God, it isn't out there. It's me not feeling what's in here that's keeping out there going. Let's say that again. Me not being willing to do what you just did, Marge, with all that courage. If I've locked down on that stuff that's sitting in my body, those memories, those times, that terror, 24 hours, that time when I was bullied, or I was the bully, like all that stuff that's sitting in my body is what is keeping this outer picture going, where we come together to be against each other, angry mobs and blah, blah, blah. Like, because I'm not feeling this stuff. I'm just externalizing it out into the world and then trying to control the world, which doesn't work because I'm never doing the work that's keeping all that going. So all 8 billion of us, some of us, I don't know, what do you think? Some percentage, we've cleared some of that stuff and maybe a lot of that stuff, but there's a lot of us, 8 billion is a lot. So there's probably more to be done. And so actually letting ourselves know it's in here and doing that work that you just did so beautifully, to say, okay, here's the source of this. I can pull that out by the roots. It's not in there anymore. There's still stuff from that experience. It's not, but you just, by you being willing to face into it and feel that, that's what changes the out there. So
Jules, can I reflect that back to you? That is pivotal because I keep reducing it to a binary that I'm not supposed to be afraid of what's outside of me. But the point is, you're not being afraid from a mature adult who can make an empowered choice. And you're locked into this other thing that's probably making it disproportionate. And even if it's not, it's actually keeping you locked into grade 4 and all of that beingness that had zero power then. And so, and that can't happen up here anyway. It had to happen here. So you liberated all that energy and contraction. I know you're probably going like, duh, I've been saying this for so long,
I'm
but
not
that
going that way.
was
I'm saying,
pivotal.
yeah,
I
thank you
mean,
for,
it's like, I just never thought that anyway, I'm just affirming that. That's pivotal every time,
every time.
even
Every
if
time.
it's unrelated. It's locking in the fear.
It's locking it in.
Thank you.
Well, thank you. Because yes, every time I walk through it with someone else. So thank you for being that person. Because when can I do it myself? Well, yeah, sometimes. But having people from the outside support me to do it, because that was the whole thing as a little kid. And, there wasn't somebody else standing there saying, Marge, it's okay. You get to feel your feeling. Why don't you run around and feel scared? Like, right. So you just kind of had to get through it on your own. You doing it on your own is not the solution. I mean, it's okay. But having us be like, yes, it's okay. You get to feel what you're feeling now changes everything. It allows that energy to move out and for you to be freed up from it and for us collectively to benefit from you doing that work. Isn't it that's the best? It's every time. Like as it's every time. My whole being is like, wow. So it's time for us to end. Thank you for being here today. The recording will go up. So Marge, you will be famous for showing us how to do this. I mean, really, that was amazing. So much. So I have so much gratitude to you for all of
You're
this.
on Team Human. You're on Team
And
Human.
you,
You're
and you, and you. And I'll get my hat on. I have it in the other room. Yeah. Next time. We're all on the same team. Yay, team. Go, team, go. Okay. The next few days, let's keep breathing. Thanks for being out there, everybody. Thanks for being here today. Okay. Bye.